Mayo here at Sumptuous Living. I'm Mandy Landefeld, lifestyle expert, and today especially cocktail phenom, lover, slight addict, having all kinds of fun. If you are here checking in with us and watching us on Facebook Live, make sure you tell me where you're watching from, because we're going to have fun. I'm going to show you all kinds of tips and tricks, but especially I'm going to share my absolute must-haves for Cinco de Mayo. In my house, if you do not have a whole huge fat mason jar full of salsa, I mean, my husband can't live without it. It's his absolute favorite. Fresh salsa is so easy to make, and so is really insanely good margaritas that don't need to come from some crappy-ass little pitcher that you bought with some pre-mixed garbage that's going to make you sick the next day, because sugar is the death of you. It's the devil, and it will make it, and I'm not saying that as a health conscious whatever, it's just, it's all the difference in hangovers and loving your cocktails and having the best time. And I know everyone thinks that I make complicated cocktails, but I don't. It's easier than you think, and we're going to share all of it today. So we're going to put on our fiesta hats and have some fun, because pretty much Mexican food is some of my family's favorites. And today, although they don't get to have the margaritas like I do, that's for Mama and Daddy. But anyways, we're busy in the Sumptuous Living kitchen today cooking, and so today I thought I would share with you two super quick, super easy recipes. So first, we're going to get started with whatever else, the liquor. It's my favorite thing to drink. Makes easy cooking happen when you are slightly, as my Aunt Deborah would say, pleasantly lit. So let's start with a really delicious margarita. The recipe is on the blog. It's our grapefruit margarita with a sugar spicy rim, but today I'm using this awesome, can you see it? It might be backwards, citrus jalapeno salt from Rock's cocktail rimmers. This is my favorite cocktail sugar company. I use them all the time, and they have the most amazing ones, and we're going to be giving out a really great cocktail package from them later on this week on the blog, so make sure you check in and subscribe so you know all about it. But today I'm going to use a citrus jalapeno salt, because that can't suck. That's got to be delicious. The best part about their cocktail sugars, whenever you buy any kind of a cocktail sugar, make sure it's pretty. It's not like monochromatic throughout the whole thing. The best way to have a pretty rim on a glass is something that's like flecked and speckled and pretty and all that kind of stuff. So we are going to start with fresh grapefruit juice, not something concentrated and all that. I'm putting into a little vessel here, just a little ramekin, some of my grapefruit juice so that I can rim my glass. So I'm going to take my glass, dip it in there, and then dip it into the sugars. I'm trying to show you. Let me see if I can show you. Can you see how flecked and pretty it is? It's really pretty. It's like super pretty. So I'm going to go ahead and dip my glass in it. See? Yay! Pretty, 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 pretty. So, and it already smells good. Oh my gosh, it smells so good. So I'm doing jalapeno citrus sugar because I like heat in my cocktails. I love them to have a little bit of spiciness and the sweetness and the whole big, that's how you get a complex thing that you think is complicated, but it's really not. It's super simple. And then I'm going to add some ice into the glass. And of course we're using good booze. It doesn't have to be expensive booze, it just has to be good booze. Like I like Avion tequila, there's Herradura, there's like all kinds of really good tequilas, and go in and talk to your liquor store, try some different ones out. Patron's always yummy, of course, but there's lots of other ones out there that are not necessarily super expensive. And then the other thing that I love is, and so with cocktail recipes, once you get the baseline of it, you can get having some fun and funkiness. So I love mezcal. It's smoky and And then we're using a yummy orange liqueur, but if you wanted to get a little spicy too, you could do an ancho chili liqueur. Look at that. It's like peppers and yumminess. So I've got some tequila going into my glass. I'm just going to do a little mixing glass here, but you could do it straight into your cup if you wanted to. I'm going to make mine a little smoky because I love mezcal, but you could just go with straight tequila. But Big Mama is drinking this today, so Big Mama gets to choose what booze is going in it. So I've got my jigger again, and I'll put some links to, especially that cocktail sugar, on a little bit later on. And because I'm doing the smokiness, I'm just going to do regular orange liqueur. We don't need to kind of gild the lily with ancho chili. So I have a little bit of that going in too. Remember, I like a 2-ounce cocktail, 2 to 2.5-ounce cocktail. It's gonna do its job, and you only need 1 or 2 of them instead of 4 or 5 of them if they're really well done. Right? That's how we all like it. And then some beautiful grapefruit juice. And then lime, of course. Lime, beautiful lime. But let's have a little quick conversation about limes. So, and we'll talk about this also with the salsa. But there's 2 different kinds of limes whenever you go to the market. There's going to be like the rough, real thick-skinned limes, and then there's thin-skinned limes. And the way that you know the difference, let me see if I can get real close. Okay, so see how this one's like super bumpy? That's a thick one. It's got more bumps to it. The bumpier, and you can't really feel like the flesh on it. This one is super thin-skinned. You can juicy it, like you know it's juicier, because you can feel that the skin is a lot thinner, and that is the kind of lime you always want to buy. Always, always, always. Okay? So that is, I don't ever buy, I don't even know how this got in my house, but whatever. Maybe the kids were helping me shop. So that's how you get a really juicy, gorgeous lime. And if you roll it a little bit before you cut it, let me clean my decks a bit. Sorry, Booze, you have to go away. If you cut it, after you've rolled it, it gets more juice out. But then I use an awesome juicer. And the flat side goes down. I know it looks like it should be the opposite way, but what you're really doing is inverting the lime that way. So that goes down, and I only need about 1/2 ounce. So I'm not going to put the whole thing in there. There we go. But all that goes into the little mixer. Give it a little stir. Pour it into our gorgeous, oh my God, it smells so good. But it's the mezcal. I mean, it's like, I'm kind of a little bit of I'll order anything mezcal. It's like my kryptonite. I love good mezcal. And this Fidencio mezcal is like the best. And it's super easy, accessible, and it's not very expensive. So that's my favorite. But that is it. Fresh grapefruit juice, fresh lime. The reason that we don't have any kind of simple syrup or a mixer in there is because we're letting our liqueurs do the sweetening for us, which means less sugar also, and a little bit more boozy. So it's boozier, less sugary, more natural, all kinds of yummy goodness. Okay, so I get to taste first because you can't, and I'm sorry, but you can make it at home. Oh my God. The salt and the sugars from this company, it's like ridiculous. My tongue's like hanging out. I don't care who's looking at me. I'm licking the whole rim. I'm like a labradoodle. Very good. Shout out to Rock Salts. We love them. Okay, let me clear my decks, and then we're gonna make salsa, which is so easy, like silly easy. I don't ever buy it like bottled up or in a jar or whatever, because it's so easy to always have everything you need on hand. This is not going very far. It's staying on my cutting board because we all know me well enough to know it's not going very far. Okay, so let's make salsa. The biggest tip I can ever give you to having a salsa that tastes like you are from a homeland of somewhere that is awesome at making salsa and that you know what you're doing and that you've done it forever is using fire roasted tomatoes, canned fire roasted tomatoes. I just get the Kroger brand. I mean, they can be any brand you want, but this is fire roasted salsa style diced tomatoes. Those will make the flavor kind of feel like it's been developed and it's super awesome, but it's amazing. Like my dad said one time I needed to like jar this stuff and make it and bottle it. Maybe that'll happen one day. Maybe eating my salsa. But that all goes into a food processor. And we're just going to give it a quick pulse when we make this. So there's very little chopping because the food processor is going to do all our work for us, right? Because we love that. And then we also have half of a red onion. And we already did this whole thing about how to cut things. And my dad was super sweet. He came for spring break because my sister just had a baby. And he sharpened all my knives because remember we had that class about the little Facebook Live about how to cut stuff. And I realized that day that even I was dealing with some dull knives, and he's like, I'm going to sharpen your knives. I'm like, thank you, Dad. So now my house is full of sharp knives, and I only need maybe about half a cup of this. I give it a rough chop because, again, the food processor is going to do all the work for us. That goes in. I've got some fresh garlic. That's going in. A pepper. Remember how to cut a pepper. We go straight down. Cut the top off. Take your giant man hands or dainty ones if you have dainty ones in. Use your garbage bowl. And go ahead and give it a tap to get all the seeds out. That one was like sans seeds. Maybe it had gone on a seed diet and gone to Jen Craig. I don't know. But this is a really pretty pepper, actually. So give this a rough chop because, again, you're like, yeah, I get it, Mandy. The food processor's going to do the work. Shut up already. I get it. Okay. So we don't need the whole thing. Let's save some of these back over here. So those are going to go into jalapeno, which you can make it as spicy as you want by leaving the seeds in or taking them out. I kind of tend to do half and half. I take half of it out. Remember to be careful if you are wearing contacts. If you need to put gloves on, you can. You could also add in a poblano if you liked, if that was better for you. Then they tend to have different kinds of heat. So you can do whatever you want because it's your kitchen and ain't nobody going to tell you different. And we're going to drink to that. Oh my God, so good. Sorry. Make one and then you can be moaning with me. And then, I'm going to kick this one up a little bit of a notch with, where did I put it? The chipotle. I put it somewhere. Renee's going to get it. Okay, so let's keep going. We're going to add more lime. Okay, so if you want a really super smoky one, like today I'm just going to go rogue. But the recipe that you see online, you can add whatever you want to. That's kind of like your baseline because, again, a recipe is a guide. We love that. But this is chili peppers in adobo sauce. Don't you love how long my arms are that they can get all the way across the island? So chili and adobo sauce, and if you can find them in these super tiny cans, then you're not having half a can sitting in the fridge kind of mocking you if you don't go ahead and use it all up. So, and that gives a super smoky kind of flavor. So those chipotle peppers and this adobo sauce is going to go in there too. And then for this one, we didn't use the zest in the cocktail because of course we don't want like all this stuff in there. But I am going to zest the lime for the salsa. That's the only way you're going to get lime flavor. Legit lime flavor is from the zest. Make sure you zest it before you cut it because it's real hard to do that after you cut it. And I've taught so many cooking classes that some poor schmuck is, they've even after they've juiced it, they've taken this poor side and trying to like, it's all mangled from juicing and they're trying to get the zest on because they're like, oh, I didn't read that part. So zest it before. I put my zester straight down on my cutting board, get it anchored down, and then I can go around real easy. I'm only trying to get the green part off, not going anywhere further than that. And this microplane zester is great. If you like to grate your garlic, make sure you got 2 because you'll never fully get the flavor of the garlic out if you're using citrus. So we're going to get lots, I like a lot of zest. And then you're about to see my cilantro addiction in a minute because I think the recipe I've put in there that we use, we use like half a bunch of cilantro. That has never, ever happened in my household. Some people are kind of about cilantro. You can add as much as you want. In my house, it should be its own food group. I love it. If you are one of those people who thinks it tastes like soap, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with you. You can just leave it alone. You don't have to add it in. I feel bad for you, but anyways, lots of yummy cilantro. And then I am going to try and do the crazy part of doing one that I haven't zested yet because I want a lot of lime zest. All right, so what are y'all making for Cinco de Mayo? Do you celebrate it? Do you make enchiladas or tacos? We're about to post a really killer enchilada recipe that we're making today, actually. It's got a tomatillo and poblano, roasted tomatillo and poblano salsa on top. Mm-hmm. with mojo chicken on the inside. That can't be bad to eat. Okay, so let's get our lime juice. Lots of lime juice. Remember, I'm going to roll this one. Put all my weight into it. You can also microwave them for like 30 seconds, and that will help release the juices of your limes. You know, this is also, because you're using the fire roasted tomatoes, it's a way to have salsa 12 months out of the year because you're not waiting for tomatoes to come into season. It's the only way to get it. Because otherwise, those tomatoes are... The only tomato that's good not during the peak of summer is a Campari tomato. That's the only tomato you should ever buy not during the peak of summer, but hopefully you are buying in the peak of summer. What else do we need? I think the only thing we have left is cilantro. So because we're using a ridiculous amount of cilantro here in the Sumptuous Living kitchen today, we've gone ahead and pre-washed it in our salad spinner. But anytime you have a bunch of cilantro, grab it by the stems and go down with your knife, like you're giving it like a haircut. And then you can just chop off the very end. I'm not even going to fuss with chopping it this time because, of course, the food processor, is going to do all the work for us. So I'm going to get, and if I have some stems in there, that's fine. So I'm basically going to go ahead and bring out the biggest stems, but the rest of it is all going in there to be happy, happy, happy. A lot of cilantro. My favorite. We are going to have a lot of cocktails going on. So there's going to be a few different margaritas. There's also a strawberry basil margarita on the blog. So if you're into that kind of thing, you like your stuff fruity, you don't want to taste your liquor, we may or may not be friends, but because I like to taste my liquor. But go ahead and check that one out too because it's really gorgeous for spring and summer. You can make a big picture of them for any like backyard party. And the school is coming out. Can you believe that? It's already happening. Like my mind is racing. The other day I had to do all of my kids' like summer calendars. And I have to go old school for that. I have to do paper. Know who's going to what camp and where they're going. And I've got my oldest is actually going to have to do summer PE. Poor fella. He's going to come home every day. So sweaty and so tired. And I think I might actually somewhat like it a little bit. Because he's not the nicest these days as a teenager. Okay. All right. All of our cilantro is going in there. And one big food processor is something you will always need. Best thing to ask for Christmas, birthdays, all that kind of stuff. If you're tuning in, make sure you tell me where you're coming from. Who is that? Hi, Shannon! Hi! Okay, so I'm going to give it some toasts. I saw Annie the other day. Hi! Give it pulse. Pulse, 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 pulse. And a little whir. And we're going to check it. We got to add some salt. Can't forget the salt. You can do it with your fingers. Remember, a pinch is not 2 fingers. A pinch is letting it snow. And only kosher salt. We have all taken a vow that no iodized salt in their food. Remember? No, 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 no. Kosher, sea salt, yes, good, good, good. Iodized salt is for soaking your feet or nothing else. Maybe scrubbing your pots and pans. So I'm going to put plenty of salt because you'd be surprised. There's lots of veggies in here. We got to season them up. All right, let me taste it. Taste it. Oh. Oh my God, it's so good. It's so good. All right. May I let you have a peek? Do you see? He's beautiful. I'm trying to get the lighting good. But it's gorgeous. We're going to put it into a pretty bowl. And I get to chow down on chips and salsa, and it's lunchtime, which is good. Oh, so pretty. And if you have a big mason jar, you can use like a mason jar kind of funnel. I'm trying to see if you can see it. Yum. Okay, so that's the key to good Cinco de Mayo. You can basically come home with a freaking rotisserie chicken from the market. And if you have this and a margarita, who's going to complain? But you could always have it for, my favorite things is to top it on a fried egg with some fresh guacamole. Amazing, ridiculous breakfast. And then there's like no end to if you have a jar of this. It'll last for about a week in your fridge. It won't last that long, but it will, and it makes a whole big mason jar full of it. So one batch will have everybody happy for the whole weekend. So that's it. I'm Mandy from Sumptuous Living. Make sure that you check the website for all of these amazing recipes, and I posted them on the top. And then if you have any questions, let me know any questions you could possibly have. I will answer everything in just a minute, and we will chat soon. Let me see. Looks, what did she say? Hi. Yeah. So anyways, we will talk soon, and bye everybody. Happy Cinco de Mayo.